All right, Bob. Hey, I got to tell you, first of all, before we even get started,
Yeah.
I literally was just in there talking to Chris Tennell and Danny Biddle
Yeah.
about issue 2. And as you come across the street, I don't know if you know or not, but I was actually filming you.
Well, I got done voting, Joe. I just love to go and vote. I like to vote in person. So
Well-
that's what I got my duty done today.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't voted yet, so. But
Well, you make sure you get out and vote, and all the people that you talk to need to get out and vote. But go ahead.
Well, absolutely. And the reason I want to talk to you is being a former prosecutor of Ashland County, there's that ballot on there called Issue 2, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you just voted on it. You're probably pretty familiar with
Yeah,
it, too.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on Issue 2?
Well, I feel strongly about it, Joe. You know, all my career, I really have tried to fight the drug epidemic that we've had in this country. So many people are drug addicted. And in my experience, and I was experienced as a prosecutor, I'm experienced as a defense lawyer, and I'm also studied and been on study committees of the drug use in Ashland County. And basically, almost always the addicts start with marijuana. It's a gateway drug. I don't care what anybody says, that's what happens. And it's causing a lot of mental illness. It's causing mental illness in our kids.
Right.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons to vote no on issue 2. But the one that's dearest to my heart, I don't want my grandkids using marijuana.
Right.
I don't want your grandkids using marijuana. I don't want the people of Ashland to have their grandkids using marijuana. And that's exactly what's going to happen when we open this up to legalizing marijuana. And I'm not talking about medical marijuana. That's a different story. Okay?
Well, that's already
I support that, yes. But this is just legalizing the use. We're going to have, if this passes, we're going to have mothers and fathers growing marijuana in their house. Well, what do you think these kids are going to do? Kids are like sponges.
Oh, yeah.
You think they're not going to be affected?
Right.
You know, I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said, monkey see, monkey do. Yes, and that's right. The kids are going to see it. It's going to be normal to them. They're going to go to school with their minds dulled. I just don't want to see it for the kids. And, you know, I know that the farm community's against it. You know, the Farm Bureau voted against it. I don't know whether you knew that. They voted no on it, or passed a resolution to vote no. The county commissioners passed a resolution to vote no.
I just talked to Danny Biddle about that.
Right. Every manufacturer that I know, they're going to vote no because they don't want a drug-addicted workforce. And that's what we're going to get. And the other thing is that, you know, our roads right now we have people that are using drugs driving right now. Why do we want more of that? It's just more danger out there. And it's going to be danger for the drug users that are going to be in the accidents, but it's going to be people like us that aren't using the drugs that'll be the victims of those accidents out there. And, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that think it's no big deal, but it is a big deal. When I grew up, when I was in high school, and I was up in the Cleveland area, graduated in 1964, I didn't even know what marijuana was. And now look at the state we're in now, where we've got a drug-addicted country, fentanyl. You know where they've legalized drugs, like in, I believe, Michigan?
Colorado.
Yeah. You know where the drugs are that they're finding in the kids in Ashland now? They're coming out of Michigan.
Right.
That's where it's legal.
The prosecutor just said that.
Yes,
They're
and it's
finding
coming
that.
here. So what the heck do we want that for? I'm sorry. What the heck we want that for?
Right.
The other thing is it's going to prevent and prohibit children's services from considering the fact that the parents are using drugs like marijuana as to the fitness of the parent. Well, that should be, I don't care whether it's a divorce proceeding or a child abuse investigation, that should be something that should be considered.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a safety issue, it's a moral issue. I feel really, really strongly about it, Joe.
So it's safe to say you voted no on issue.
I voted no. I want everybody to vote no, and I've felt that way for a long time. And I think that I've studied this and know. And the other thing they say it's going to bring tax money. That's baloney. That is baloney. What it's going to do is it's going to provide money for the people that they know are going to get addicted to the marijuana. So we'll have money for that.
Right.
Then they're giving a special consideration to drug users. So when you get to, you're going to get a license to grow this stuff.
Right.
The people that have got criminal records for growing drugs, they're going to get an advantage over anybody else to grow. And it's because, you know, they talk about out-of-state money. This is big money that is coming in to communities like this, and they're going to jam this or try to jam it down their throats. And we aren't going to stand for it. We are not going to stand for it.
Well, thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate you talking to me.
All right,
I
Joe.
see that we agree.
Well, we agree on that. We probably agree on issue 1. I don't know whether you've had that one.
Oh, okay. You want to mention issue 1?
Well, issue 1's a more complicated issue. It's not complicated for me because, I mean, I think I understand both sides. I know they say, well, you're a man, you can't understand. I'm voting no, and I'm urging other people to vote no. And I know that there's people that think that, well, there should be some compromise on it, but the bad thing about issue 1 is it's so extreme, Joe. It's so extreme. The viability of a child is going to be determined by the abortionist as to whether it's viable. And despite the viability of a child, if the abortionist doctor says, well, it could affect not just the life of the mother, but the health, whatever that means, that could be mental health, whatever, then they can do abortion right up to birth.
Right.
It's hard to believe, but that's how extreme this is. So, I mean, I want people to know that, because I know there's some people that are moderate on it. I get it. But this is too extreme to be voted on. A lot of babies will suffer the death because of this, and if it would be voted, I'm saying vote no. And you know, I'm Catholic, and like many other Christians, you know, we believe in the sanctity of life, and so all things considered, I couldn't vote yes on it anyway. But it's so extreme that no one should vote on it. Okay, that's my pitch. That's what I think.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I'm glad I ran into you,
well,
Joe.
I know, this worked out perfect. I got 3 done, all at the same building.
Yeah, and I got my voting in today, so and I encourage everybody else to get out and vote.
Well, thank you, sir, and have a great day.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.